Simon Bullseye, square root of 1268. Ain't got a clue, mate. Stephen Rubbercheck, what do you change in your angling as the temp drops, i.e. baits and rigs? So, right, well, as the winter descends on us, what I tend to change really is the quantity of bait I use. You know, if I was in summer, you can get away with putting lots more. Now I try to home fish into my hook bait, so higher tracks. But that's it really. I mean, I fish through the year with higher track hook baits. I'm not a needle in a haystack angler. I don't always fish with a bait that matches the hatch. So if I'm fishing over cell, I don't always use a cell plain bottom bait. I'm always, you know, ever since the goo come out, basically last August 2011, when I first got the samples of it, I've always fished with a bait that's been infused either on the hook bait or on the bag with some goo, but in amongst, whether it's cell or whatever. But come the winter months, I just lower the quantities of what I put in. You know, I'll use more bits like sweet corn and chopped boilie, but just less of it. You know, if you want an example of that, you know, a few 10 millers and a few pouch loads of corn or something over a freebie, just to get those fish in the area, and then, you know, my hook bait over the top. So that's it. But the rigs and everything else stays pretty much the same. I'm not one for changing it. If it gets a bite for me through the year, it's going to get a bite for me in the winter. I just make sure I've got higher track things on. David Wood, when fishing a new water and you can only fish through the day, the owner advises you to just fish PVA or mesh bags for a bite at a time. Am I best having a marker rod around, and for how long, as time is of the essence? It's brand new water with no weed at all. Well, Dave, you'll notice that a lot of us, when we're fishing, we're always casting out, like the Team Korda guys, with, you know, well, any good angler really, they'll stop the lead just before it hits the surface and feel it down on a tight line. When I'm day fishing, the only time I really ever get out of marker float is if I'm gone to a lake for the first time. I don't know what the depth of the lake is and I want to fish zig rigs. Apart from that, I'll just cast it out and just feel the lead down, and clip everything up to that. If I want to put a spot out, then I'll clip one of my rods up, wind it in, go around the sticks to work out the number of wraps that I am away from the bank, and just fish it that way. So I think the owner, what he's trying to say to you is, you know, putting out little bags to get a bite at a time, that's fine. But I'm sure if you want to have a big hit on a lake, then, you know, little and often. So get your bags out, but just keep spraying bait constantly, you know, every 20-30 minutes, a little bit of bait over the top, just to keep the swim fresh. Colin Lee, what would you recommend as a good all-round winter bait, and are particles still usable? Like I said, particles in the colder months are definitely worth using. Think about it logically. Things that are more digestible and easy to digest, like smaller, watery things like sweet corn, the fish are going to get down them a lot easier than they are a big hard boilie, you know. So that's why baits like the cell was so good through the winter months. It's a very digestible boilie. It's good all year round, but it is very good in the winter. So yeah, particles, definitely use them. Smaller baits, things that are easy for the fish to digest. If it looks like a big old tough mouthful, then it generally is going to be. Hence why bread and all of them things have been good, and maggots, because it's just easy for the fish to get down them and get rid of.